Hi there, we're live, and this is going to be a reading from the CAIB, the Columbia Accident Investigation Board. And I have these reading assignments to do. And instead of just sitting there reading them by myself, I figured, well, I might as well read them and put them online for other people if they want to read them. Um, Now, I thought we were supposed to read chapter 5 at work, and then what happened was that um, we're actually supposed to read the introduction and chapter 1. So I guess we're starting from the beginning. And so let's see. And I hope, let me see something here. There's the introduction, chapter 1, chapter 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. And I think we almost finished chapter 5. We might have one section left. I'm not sure, but so at least we finished that before. So I'm going to go back and start reading the introduction. Now, in the introduction, they have the launch the patch of the launch. Every launch has a patch. This one is in the shape of the orbiter. And what's interesting, what I found interesting on it was the left wing where the foam had hit that caused the accident. They have the stars on the wing. The stars are for the astronauts. And but it kind of looks like maybe foam flying by the wing or something. If you kind of have an imagination, so it's just kind of did they know, like, something like that might happen? And they didn't know, but I mean, it's just the way the patch. I mean, it has these little particles that look like foam, and then the way it shows, like, kind of this star. It shows like a trail and a star, kind of, when the orbiter was coming in, it looked like almost like a star. It was like or a meteor kind of coming in. So, um, but anyways, that's the patch. This was the crew patch for the STS-107. The central element of the patch was the microgravity symbol flowing into the rays of the astronaut symbol. The orbital inclination was portrayed by the 39-degree angle of the Earth's horizontal to the astronaut symbol. The sunrise was representative of the numerous science experiments that were drawn of a new era for continued microgravity research on the International Space Station and beyond. The beneath of science, no wait, not the beneath. The breadth of science conducted on this mission had whispered benefits to life on Earth and continued exploration of space, illustrated by the Earth and stars. The constellation Columbia, the dove, was chosen to symbolize peace on Earth, and the space shuttle Columbia. In addition, the 7 stars represents the STS-107 crew members, as well as honoring the original Mercury 7 astronauts who paved the way to make research in space possible. The Israeli flag represents the first person from the country to fly on a space shuttle. And let me see, I'm going to look at it now. Looking at it. Yep, there's the Israeli flag by Raymond. And I don't know, for some reason they have the 7 stars on the wing. There's 6 together and one that it's, I don't know why they're not all together, but that's the way it is. There was Brown, Clark, Shaula, Anderson, Raymond, McCool, and Husband are the last names of the astronauts and that were lost in STS-107. On the back cover, the emblem memorizes the 3 U.S. human space flight accidents: Apollo 1, Challenger, and Columbia. So there's another patch. The words across the top translate to the stars despite adversity. Always explore. Okay. This was first printed in 2003 by the Columbia Accident Investigation Board. And this is in memoriam of Rick Husband, the commander, William McCool, the pilot, Michael P. Anderson, the payload commander, David M. Brown, the mission specialist, Kalpana Chawla, mission specialist, Laurel Blair Salton Clark, mission specialist, and Elon Ramon, payload specialist. Also, they have down here Jules F. Meyer Jr., debris search pilot, and Charles French, debris search aviation specialist. So I think those were the ones that were lost in the helicopter while looking for the debris or piece of the debris. This cause of exploration and discovery is not an option we choose. It is a desire written in the human heart. We find the best among us, send them forth into unmapped darkness, and pray they will return. Amen. They go in peace for all mankind, and all mankind is in their debt. Amen. This is President George W. Bush. Okay, they go in peace for all mankind. This is what Jesus did. So I'm glad that, we can associate that with our astronauts. Let me see. Volume 1. So let's see. I'm just going through the table of contents. Volume 1 in memorandum, board statement, executive summary, and report synopsis. Part 1, the accident. So there's part 1, there's part 2, and there's part 3. And part 4, there's volume 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Volume 2 is, let's just go through from the beginning. Part 1, the accident. Chapter 1 is the evolution of the space shuttle program. Chapter 2 is Columbia's final flight. Chapter 3 is accident analysis. Chapter 4 is on other factors considered. And then we go to part 2 is why the accident occurred. This is chapter 5 is the Challenger, from Challenger to Columbia. And chapter 6 is decision making at NASA. Chapter 7 is the accident's organizational causes. And there's subsections in the chapters, but I'm not reading those. But I do notice that maybe it was intentional, but when we go to from page 4 to page 5, they shifted it, which I think was intentional because page 4 is on the left, page 5 is on the right. Remember, let me see. Page 6 is on the left, page 7 is on the right, but somehow I don't know if they meant to shift the table of contents because that's okay. Chapter 8, history as cause, Columbia and Challenger. Then you go to part 3, a look ahead, implications for the future of human spaceflight. This is going to be good. And chapter 10 is the other significant observations. We need to focus on those for the next flights coming up. And so we can have those in our tools. Part 4 is the appendices. Appendix A is the investigation. Appendix B is board members' biographies. And Appendix C is board staff. And of course, they have, we're just in volume 1. They have a volume 2, volume 3, volume 4, volume 5, and volume 6. In volume 2, there's the appendix, CAIB technical documents cited in the report. Volume 3 is Appendix E, the other technical documents cited in this report. Volume 4 is Appendix F, other technical documents. Volume 5, Appendix G, other significant documents. And Volume 6, Appendix H, transcripts of board public hearings. That might be interesting to hear. I don't know about reading all those transcripts. All right, let's see, where are we at? Okay. All right, let's go into the next one is, okay, so we're still in the introduction. We have an executive summary. Um, there's quite a bit in here. Um, quite a bit in there. The let's see. Quite a bit in there in just the introduction. So I don't know if we're going to make it through this tonight. So they have a board statement, and then they have a signature page. Signatures on this document are Harold W. Gaiman, Jr., Admiral, U.S. Navy, retired chairman. John L. Berry, Major General, U.S. Air Force. James, wait, let me go across left and right. Dwayne W. Deal, Brigadier General, U.S. Air Force. James N. Hollick, PhD, Manager, Aviation Safety Division, DOT, RSPA, Volpe Center. Kenneth W. Hess, Major General, U.S. Air Force. G. Scott Hubbard, Director, NASA Ames Research Center, and Michael M. Ogston, PhD, Professor, George Washington University. Douglas D. Osheroff, PhD, Professor, Stanford University. Sally K. Ride, PhD, Professor, University of California at San Diego. Sally Ride. So, I don't know. I guess a lot of these other ones here might be astronauts. Roger E. Detrault, Chairman of CEO. McDermott International, retired. Stephen A. Turcotte, Rear Admiral, U.S. Navy. Stephen B. Wallace, Director, FAA Office of Accident Investigation. Sheila E. Windmill, PhD, Professor, Massachusetts Institute of Technology. It's interesting to have all these folks here, and you would think that since the foam is put on the orbiter at Kennedy Space Center, they'd have somebody from Kennedy Space Center here, but they don't. I don't know. They have somebody from Ames. They have one. Maybe that person just works with everybody from the whole agency. Director, NASA Ames Research Center. And let me see, what is the most interesting signature here? Which one I like the most? I like Sally Rides. It's pretty interesting. I think that's the one, the other ones are okay, but hers is a little different. Douglas D. Ostroff's kind of different too, but I like hers. Very, yeah, it's nice. But I can't really make out. I guess that can't make out the D. Sally's easy to make out. The K is easy to make out. The R-I. Oh, yeah. She does the I, the D, and then she comes back around and does the E. That's cool. She even's got like an arrow kind of on that thing that goes R-I-D, and then the D goes up, and then it comes back around like a big loop. And then she has the E, and then she has a little arrow pointing the direction of that loop. If you ever get a chance to look at that, maybe I can post that in the thing. I'll post that in the comments. See if I can paste that and put that in there. I don't know if I can. What's going on? I hear some noises. And all right. Wait a second. Excuse me. Let me take a break for a second. All right. Just taking a short break. Hold on a second. Okay, and then I guess we're going to go into the board statement. That's the next thing. Just give me a second. I need to taking care of some business here. All right. So the board statement says, for all those who are inspired by flight and for the nation, where powered flight was first achieved. The year 2003 had long been anticipated as one of the celebrations, December 17th, would mark the centennial for the day the Wright Flyer first took to the air. But 2003 began instead on a note of sudden and profound loss. On February 1st, Space Shuttle Columbia was destroyed in a disaster that claimed the lives of all 7 of its crew. All right, I'm going to go get a drink of water. I'll be right back. Just hang loose. All right, so then, while February 1st was an occasion for mourning, the efforts that ensued can be a source of national pride. NASA publicly and forthrightly informed the nation about the accident and all the associated information that became available. The Columbia Accident Investigation Board was established within 2 hours of the loss of signal from the returning spacecraft in accordance with procedures established by NASA following the Challenger accident 17 years earlier. Crew members lost that morning were explorers in the finest tradition, and since then, everyone associated with the board has felt that we were laboring in their legacy. Ours, too, was a journey of discovery. We sought to discover the conditions that produced the tragic outcome and to share those lessons in such a way that this nation's space program will emerge stronger and more sure-footed. If those lessons are truly learned, the Columbia's crew will have made an indelible contribution to the endeavor each one valued so greatly. After nearly 7 months of investigation, the board has been able to arrive at findings and recommendations amid at significantly reducing the chances of further accidents. Our aim has been to improve shuttle safety by multiple means, not just by correcting the specific faults that cost the nation this orbiter and this crew. With that intent, the board conducted not only an investigation of what happened to Columbia, but also to determine the conditions that allowed the accident to occur. A safety evaluation of the entire space shuttle program. Most of the board's efforts were undertaken in a completely open manner, but by necessity, the safety evaluation was conducted partially out of the public view since it included frank, off-the-record statements by the substantial number of people connected with the space shuttle program. In order to understand the findings or recommendations in the report, it is important to appreciate the way the board looked at this accident. In our view, that complex system almost always fail in complex ways, and we believe it would be wrong to reduce the complexities and the weaknesses associated with the system to some simple explanation. Too often, accident investigations blame a failure only on the last step in a complex process when a more comprehensive understanding of that process could reveal the earlier steps might be equally or even more culpable. This board's opinion, unless the technical, organizational, and cultural recommendations made in this report are implemented, little will have been accomplished to lessen the chance that other accidents will follow. Okay, so we got to look out for that. Technical, organizational, and cultural recommendations. Because if the little will have been accomplished to lessen the chance that the accidents will follow. So, in this board's opinion, unless the technical, organizational, and cultural recommendations made in this report are implemented, little will have been accomplished to lessen. From its inception, the board considered itself an independent and public institution accountable to the American people, public, the White House, Congress, and astronaut corps and their families, the NASA and NASA. With the support of these constituents, the board resolved to broaden the scope of the accident investigation into a far-reaching examination of NASA's operation of the shuttle fleet. We have explored the impact of NASA's organizational history and practices on shuttle safety, as well as the roles of public expectations and national policy making. In this process, the board identified a number of pertinent factors which have grouped into distinct categories. Physical failures that led directly to Columbia's destruction, underlying weaknesses revealed in NASA's organizational and history that can pave the way for a catastrophic failure, and other significant observations made during the course of the investigation, but which may be unrelated to the accident at hand. Left uncorrected, any of these factors could contribute to failure shuttle to future shuttle losses. To establish the credibility of this finding and recommendations, the board grouped this examination in rigorous scientific and engineering principles. We have consulted with leading authorities not only in mechanical systems, but also in organization theory and practices. These authorities' areas of expertise include risk management, safety engineering, and a review of best practice. This practice employed by other low risk but apparently reliable enterprises. Among these are nuclear power plants, petrochemical facilities, nuclear weapons productions, nuclear submarine operations, and expendable space launch vehicles, launch systems. NASA is a federal agency like no other. Its mission is unique and stunning technological. It's stunning tech. I always get messed up with this technological. I don't know. How do you pronounce technological? That's crazy. I'm going to learn how to pronounce this. Go to Google, put that in. Let's see if they have, let me see.
Technological.
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 Technological. Technological.
Technological.
Technological. Okay, so technological. All right, where are we at? We're here. Okay, and it's saying technological. And I know it sounded like that, but the way it's spelled technological. Yeah, technological accomplishments. A source of pride and inspiration without equal, represent the best of American skill and courage. At times, NASA efforts have riveted the nation, and it is never far from the public view and close scrutiny from many quarters. The Oscar of Columbia has her crew represents a turning point, calling for a renewed public debate and commitment regarding human space exploration. One of our goals has been to set forth the terms of this debate. Named for a sloop that was the first American vessel to circumnavigate the Earth more than 200 years ago, the 1981 Columbia became the first spacecraft of its type to fly in Earth orbit and successfully completed 27 missions over more than 2 decades. During the STS-107 mission, Columbia and its crew traveled more than 6 million miles in 16 days. The orbiter's destruction just 60 minutes before scheduled touchdown shows that spaceflight is still far from routine. It involves a substantial amount of risk, which must be recognized, but never accepted with resignation. The 7 Columbia astronauts believed that the risk was worth the reward. The board salutes their courage and dedicates the report to their memory. And here it has the people that wrote. That's the signature page, and they have a nice picture of the Columbia inside of one of the bays. I'm not sure which one that is. It might be, maybe they'll say, but they don't, but it looks like it could. It's hard to say. Maybe that's OPF3. I don't know. It's hard to tell. And then next is an executive summary. After the executive summary is a report synopsis, a couple pages, 3 pages on that. And then we go into the introduction. And I think I'm going to stop there because it's a lot of words, and I'm going to stop just after reading the board statement. And I'm going to update our YouTube. And thanks for joining. And go ahead and leave some comments if you like. And we'll have more of these. And just remember, the most important thing to do in life is do what Jesus told you to do, and you'll be okay. And God bless you all, and have a good night. Amen.